Yeah, well, we'll get to that in a second. Like I said, like I mentioned, folks, I'm going to be revealing the number one. I'm actually going to be opening this position live on camera. Um, Nuclear stock that I'm adding to the old portfolio. So I hope you all are ready to see that. Say hi in the chat. Let me just go ahead and get all my stuff set up here. I did not close out any tab last night, so my computer is a mess
Slow.
and slow. Yeah. Let's see, what am I looking at?
See if I can adjust this thing.
All right, so first off, let's look at some things. Um, so we are SPY hit basically the all-time high, touched it again, tried to touch it, bounced off 646.17 or so. We are selling off today. Um, a kind of weird price action. I mean, it opened and it was just kind of, I mean, it was a little down flat. Then we had a big little sell off, and now we've kind of just been tracking down for the last uh, hour and a half or so since market open. Yeah, it's so we'll see. I still think that we're going to drift up, but there's always red candles in an upswing. Jeff, what do you think? Is this the all-time high, or
No, it's
for a
not the
while?
all-time high.
For a
Um,
while, for a
y-
while, the more recent all-time high until
yeah, I mean, I think right now, I think the market right now is wanting to see what happens this afternoon.
that's what
Um,
I'm saying, right? With the summit. So I'm like
yeah,
cautiously optimistic about like we could actually get a huge rally because I don't think
yeah,
Trump's going to come out of this and say nothing's happened. Regardless of whether or not something has happened, he's going to say it was all great. We're going to end the war
yeah,
in Ukraine.
right. And I think that's what the market is doing right now is kind of setting itself up to have another spurt up just because of that thing this afternoon. And I don't think, Trump's going to come out of there. I mean, he's not going to sit down for 2 minutes and say, okay, screw you, Putin. I'm going to go do something else. I think they're going to have a nice little conversation and he's going to come out and go, okay, the guy is kind of serious about doing this, but we're not going to get it done today. And all of a sudden the market's going to take off. So but it wouldn't surprise me if that happened. If it comes out bad, Marcus going to tank.
Right. So it's kind of a binary option. And
Exactly.
and the
Exactly.
question is like what time is that meeting? Do we know?
3 Eastern.
Oh. So it's going to come out after close probably.
It might. I mean, sometime between 3 and 4, in theory, we'll know something, but who knows?
Yeah.
And Jeff, you're a big commodities guy. What are the actual practical impacts peace in the Ukraine might have? Easing of sanction on Europe's more more resource trade in that region.
Well, the thing about Ukraine, and this is the one thing that's hard to get out of Ukraine right now. Ukraine basically supplies the whole Middle East with wheat.
Hmm.
That's their big deal. They're a huge wheat producer, and I mean they literally supply. I mean, 43% of wheat exports comes out of Ukraine in the world. How's that? So of course that's been thumped pretty hard. I think a lot of people think that, if this deal goes through, we're going to see, crude oil tank off, which it didn't before the war. So why would it do it now? So, I mean, I don't think that's going to happen. There's probably going to be some relief in that. The big question is, I mean, does Trump relieve any sanctions off of Russia? And if he doesn't, then things kind of remain the same. We've had a real, I mean, right now we've got kind of bumper crops around the world just because we've had great weather. If you want to look at the best weather you could ever have as a farmer is this year. How's that? And they're actually predicting a 13% increase in corn production over last year, uh, based off of the weather that we've had. Well, do we need that much corn? And not only that, most of the corn that we produce goes into ethanol, which of course Trump has cut that back. So can they really? I mean, what are we going to do with all the corn? And that's the biggest thing right now. And if you've seen the corn price, it sucks. I mean, it's gotten hammered. It's down. Well, right now it's back to $4, but it's got a low from what was that last year down there about 385. They take that out and they're going to flush the toilet on corn. But they just can't find a bottom in corn hardly. And so,
What are corn futures?
yeah, if you want me to share my screen, I have it right here.
Oh yeah, sure.
Okay. But yeah, do. So on the left side are your corn futures. It's a weekly chart. On the right side, soybean. And you'll notice a big green bar over there on soybeans. That's because we had the World Ag Supply come out on Tuesday, and we had a shortage of acreage on soybean, which I figured that much just because there's a lot more inputs that you have to um, grow soybeans as opposed to corn. As long as you got good soil and get the weeds out of the way, corn's going to grow. And so they've been planting a lot of corn, getting away from the soybeans. We have a decreased acreage in soybeans, so that shot soybeans up. And of course, corn on that same little bar right there this week, it's down, went down to 392. And if you kind of blow this up, there's that 385 low right there. And even if you look at, you like looking at like fibs and stuff like that, this thing has taken out just about every support you can, and now it's probably going to hit that 385. So there's nothing really stopping it. The question is it take that out? And that's what I've been kind of wanting for. I mean, they kind of blew through here, went back up to the 618 bar and kind of pulled back a little bit. So I don't think there's really any hope for corn at this point in time. And of course, more news comes out that we got a bumper crop. And here's the crazy thing. Brazil down there had 3 crops of corn this year. I mean, usually they get 2, but they did 3 because the weather's been so good. So,
Aren't we tariffing Brazil?
what's that?
Aren't we tariffing Brazil? I don't know I
Yeah.
don't know if the corn falls into those tariffs, but
Yeah. Yeah. But I mean, that's the thing. I mean, but you have to remember we're tariffing them. Okay, that's fine, but the rest of the world's not. So they can,
Right.
I mean, right now, I think what we're looking at, and I mean, we've had some really good, sales, exporting sales on our corn just because our corn is so cheap. And the question is can we continue to export at that rate just to make up for, I mean, this is right now we don't have the new crop out yet. So this is all old crop. Now we're getting orders for new crop. And new crop's not going to be out until, October, November. So that's what, we're kind of waiting on right now from the USDA is actually, what's our sales going to be and what's the new crop going to be at. So right now, corn's getting, I mean, going to be real cheap. Soybeans still hanging around $10. Even wheat's kind of come down a little bit, but we're past harvest. We're already past new crop on that. That I mean, that's done as of pretty much last month, beginning of this month. So now they're going to start planting winter wheat here in the next month or two, and getting ready for next year on that one. But anyway, but yeah, that's the thing that we're looking at right now. And if you go back to Ukraine, where we kind of started with this, I mean, Ukraine is a huge crop country, and not only that, they have a lot of minerals and stuff like that as well. So, and I think that's really what Putin is wanting. He wants that east side that has a lot of their minerals. He doesn't care for the crop so much. I mean, you got a huge crop of wheat out of Russia and stuff like that. So between Russia and Ukraine, they are pretty much the bread basket of all of pretty much Europe and the Middle East. So now the question is what they end up with. I mean, pretty much Trump before he even took office said, they're going to lose some land if we're going to get this deal done. Well, Ukraine doesn't want to lose any land, so there's going to be a huge fight in that, I think. And I don't know how that's going to come out, but that's not my bag of tea. I just kind of watch to see what happens. I mean, I trade it the way it is, but right now, you could probably, kind of do a long soybean, short corn, and probably end up being okay. But I think we need to find out what the news is going to be like today, what they're going to, maybe talk about, as far as, who gives up what to get everybody all copacetic and everything like that and get Zelensky on board. But I don't know.
Folks,
hey, what a
let
good
us know
word.
in the chat. We want to hear from you. Are we going to get peace in Russia between Russia and the Ukraine?
Yeah, that's going to be hard to do. And I mean, That's old wars. I mean, that's older wars than the U.S. is old over there. And so sometimes we just don't understand what they're trying to do. I mean, it's just like the Middle East. They've been around for thousands of years, and here we are, 275 years old trying to tell people what to do.
And
So,
and Putin famously or infamously on his interview with Tucker Carlson, he like started talking about 1,000-year-old history and
yeah.
gave like a long history lesson of the region. So yeah, like Jeff was saying, this is a old conflict. Those borders seem to change every 50,
Oh
100
yeah.
years or so.
Yeah, those borders have changed. I don't know how many times over the years. I mean, I mean, it was huge, then it got small and got huge and small, and then the new countries were, made, and everybody wanted to break off and do this. I mean, it's crazy over there. So, I mean, go look at. I mean, go back to the. I don't know how old y'all are, but go back to the old world books there and grab a no, no a map book and look at the map of the world and see what countries are there compared to now. I mean, it's changed a lot. So,
My wife's ethnically Polish, and it's a running joke about Polish borders. Who's coming over? Is it the Prussians, the Germans, the Russians?
so,
Uh,
but yeah, I mean that's the big thing is what actually happens with Ukraine. I mean, right now, Ukraine's the big question mark, and whoever ends up with it, do they still export the same things that they've been exporting and helping the region out and everything like that, or does it turn communist? I mean, I don't know. And I think that's, worried a lot of the grain people around the world is, what can we expect out of Ukraine? They used to export a ton of stuff, but I don't know if they're going to be able to rely on that anymore. And
Kay in the chest has been fighting over there since coming out of Egypt to Israel. I assume what
yeah,
you mean, Kay, is so since biblical times.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I mean, but that's the thing, and that's why I was kind of interested to see how conflicts like this come out. I mean, even the Middle East fighting, or us going over and tearing up Iran and stuff like that, that affects a lot of different things. And so that's why I really like the commodity market a lot, is because it's the stuff that we use every day. I mean, if you don't like wheat, fine, you eat soybeans there, okay, fine. And if you don't like that, you still, probably have corn. And I mean, we use crude oil and everything. And, if you like, beef and pork, well, we got futures on that as well. And I mean, but it tells you what's happening at the grocery store. I mean, what is corn not in? Right.
Right. It's
I
in
mean,
everything.
that's kind of like crude oil. What's it not in? So, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, I always have liked watching the futures just to understand how things are and know what we're going to be paying for from day to day to day. And, when they sit there and look at inflation, that's the crazy thing is, I mean, you look at, what's happened to corn literally here. I mean, it was way high. I mean, there's $7. We're down here at 4, and that's just in the past 3 years. So it's come down. So really, if you look at the PPI that we had come out yesterday, that was up, right? Well, it's
Hmm.
not the grain market's problem. So, it's got to be the producers. It's the price of aluminum to make the cans. It's the price of plastic. I mean, whatever it is, transportation. That's what's driving the cost up. It's not the cost of the actual raw product. It's actually the cost of something else in that chain that's driving those up. And I mean, when you are cut almost in half on, wheat, soybeans, even corn, I mean, you know that the grain prices are down. You know that crude oil's come down. I mean, we're not at $80. We're down at, $60. So it's come down. A lot of things. I mean, look at the price of natural gas. Natural gas, I mean, here, new chart. We'll do a daily. What the heck? Oh, not that one. New chart. There we go. NG 25. We'll just do a daily on this. So natural gas is, I mean, just in the past month has gone from up there around $4 down here to 290. So the price, and the thing is with natural gas, we're producing a ton of it right now. So we have an oversupply, but there's a lot less demand on natural gas from the AI standpoint. Everybody wants to go nuclear on the AI stuff. And so they're
Hmm.
really pushing the nuclear stuff and trying to stay away from the natural gas steam turbines and stuff like that, that kind of power. So that's kind of put the brakes on natural gas demand, and therefore, well, here we are down here at 296 right now. But I bet you your energy bill doesn't go down. I'll bet you
The
$5 this
energy
winter you
bill
don't get to pay cheaper energy.
energy bill never goes down.
Yeah, that's right. And which sucks because when they raised them up, yeah, natural gas was up at $7. Well, now it's down here at 290, and I bet you everybody's going to be paying just as high energy bills this winter as it did last winter. And I think
Well,
that's
keep it low, Jeff. I'm trying
yeah,
to put a proper gas stove in my house now. I moved into a new house a little less than a year ago, and it's a great house, but boy, I miss those gas burners. So
yeah.
hopefully this Alex will talk about an energy trade we're going to do live on camera, and hopefully that pops off and I can pay for a nice gas stove.
Well, yeah. I
Michael
mean, gas is I mean, a very, very efficient way of heating the house and cooking. I mean, my wife, I mean, she gripes every day when she has to use an electronic, stove. She wants a gas one. And I'm just like, fine, we'll get one. How's that? So, but that's the thing. I mean, it does something that's a whole lot more efficient than electricity, and it's cheaper. So, but it all depends on the power company that's supplying the gas and what are they charging you? I mean, I guarantee it's not this price. So,
Well, one of the companies we're going to be talking about actually is a mix of nuclear and natural gas, which I think um is a good mix. They got a good they provide both. So I'm
hmm
curious to hear your thoughts on that. Um yeah, so that's so basically the gist, let's for everybody, let's sum this up. We get some questions here. Michael is asking about order flow. Jeff, do you use order flow for? I can show you what I use, Michael. I don't know if Jeff uses order flow for his trading at all.
No, I know you do though, don't you?
Yeah, so here, let me go ahead. So order flow is a component of trading. Jeff does some. I know you do some day trading too. We
Oh
both
yeah.
do day trading. I use it as a component. So I have this Michael. I have this unusual option scanner I built. We're going to be opening this up for people to use themselves soonish. So Michael, if you are interested in the order flow, be sure to come keep an eye on my Telegram and stuff. I'll be posting updates on that. But so yeah, this is what I use for the order flow. We see right here we have some stuff for run 1250. We got some Okta, so you can see it all the stuff here. And I just look for these are basically sweep orders. I look for multiple sweep orders coming in. So we have run, 2 or 3 is good. Run. We have another Okta. Okta has some puts coming in. And then
I
what
was gonna
I'll
say, are you looking at option volume or are you looking at actual stock volume?
option. This is
Ah,
option.
okay,
This is
option
this is
volume. Okay, cool.
yeah, this is option volume. I mean, so we just trade the options. So but like for instance, we see Okta has an $88 put for next week. This isn't a pretty strong trend today. I wouldn't I like I'm gonna look at this and then I'm gonna come over here. I'm gonna look at like, okay, what's the trend for today? It's pretty strong moving up, despite so this is a pretty good divergence with SPY. Melt is selling off, Okta's up. I'm hesitant to take a put. Um, Now if you go over here to run, which is interesting, 1250 calls for August 29th. Let's look at run. Let's look at what run is doing. Um, so they have, so again, there are the run, they're in an upswing. We do have some call volume coming in for next week on this baby. We are selling off. So I'd probably wait. I would want to see maybe get down here. Because the thing is with these unusual options flows, if we're trading these, right, these are kind of cheap. We can get them maybe a 20% winner in like a couple hours. Uh, sometimes we hold overnight, sometimes we hold for multiple days, sometimes we just do a lot of times we just do intraday trading. But we're looking for just a quick pop. So I'm probably going to wait. I'm going to monitor this. We'll see if more flows come in, but wait for the price to sort of hit maybe one of the moving averages down here, the 9 moving average, and then bounce off. See, look at this. So if we had entered that, these start coming in right around here, these calls, we'd be losing we'd be down right now. So
Well,
yeah,
I have a question. So is this looking at, I mean, if you're looking at volume, I get that, but are you looking at buying volume or selling volume? Because I'm wondering, I mean, looking at that 1250, looks like they're selling 1250 calls against this thing. I mean, just looking
well,
at that chart, and that's what I'm asking here.
this is buying volume.
Okay, it's buy volume. Okay,
Buy
cool.
volume, yeah.
Okay, so they are buying those calls. That's not selling those calls. Okay,
Right, yep.
awesome.
So yeah, it's on the what the ask side would be.
Mm-hmm.
And folks, I just dropped both Jeff and Alex's Telegram in the chest. A lot of good content on there. Alex has been sharing these unusual flow trades and doing really well. I mean, you can just scroll through the Telegram, and he's sharing them for free right now. So at some
That's
point,
really cool.
he's gonna sell this app, but get him, hop on that Telegram and get these unusual flow trades while they are still free. Really nice. What's this? About 30% winner on Wolf. I think some people said they got 38%. So
Yeah, we have a couple good trades this week. Still watching a few. We'll see what happens. But yeah, so that's how we do. So yeah, I mean, you can use a combination. I recommend not just following flows. Like you need to just don't blindly, use flows to trade because um also like what Jeff said is some of them can be sells. So you make sure you're looking at the buy flows because if they're just selling, you'll get a false. If they're selling them, they mean that's not going to go to 12, right?
Right, right. That
Uh,
was what I was asking.
yeah, because that means they're banking it's gonna dip off.
Right.
Um, so yeah, so let's get into to what I had set up today. Curious to hear your opinion, Jeff, if you're long any of these companies. And so nuclear, right? The reason I did this, so we've been long Oklo for many years. Where is this? Hold on, I gotta find this little deck I've created for everyone. What's up, Sharab? So we've been long nuclear. Oklo was a good one. The thing is, though, Oklo is actually probably one of the worst nuclear companies. They have no business besides hype, besides the hype machine. However, the Trump administration is continuing. Well, it started in the Trump administration, actually, the move to nuclear. And then it continued under the Biden administration, and now it's continuing under the Trump administration in a big way. Dick, the phone app is not it's not going to be a phone app because we were trying to figure out how to get this flow alert to people, and phones would be a little hard. We'd have to like list it on the App Store, and so it's going to be a web app. It's going to look the same. It's just going to be a web app, so you can just go to the website, and I'll give everybody that down the road once we get our tech team to create it. Because I'm not actually a programmer. I can hack stuff together, but I don't want to deal with databases for mass distribution. I don't. That's a headache. So we got our crack team of engineers on it though. So look out for that.
and you should be able to use it on your phone, but it'll just be through the web browser, not like an iPhone app.
Yeah, you could do that. Yeah. All right. So my number one nuclear stock. Uh, let's go over right why nuclear is still a good buy. Now these stocks are up. A lot of these stocks, almost every stock is up, right? I mean, stocks are just crazy. But nuclear in
Right.
general, in particular, has been really, really doing well. But it's just the beginning, and there are some good value companies out there. So just to lay the groundwork here, folks, nuclear renaissance is starting. There's a global push to triple capacity, nuclear capacity by 2050. The U.S. Advance Act for SMRs was passed in 2024, and you can see sort of the gist of it here. We'll summarize this, but it's basically just like pouring a bunch of money into nuclear development for national security purposes, for the government, for the DoD, and because nuclear, look, it was kind of it was messed up by the environmentalists because well, a lot of it was funded by the oil and gas industry. It is really clean. You know, we've heard Chernobyl, we've heard of 3 Mile Island, yeah, Fukushima. But the thing is we have nuclear reactors in our ships, in our submarines, without melting down, and they're being operated by 19-year-old ensigns in the Navy, right? So the tech is there. It's just not commercially available. Well, it hasn't been commercially available on a wide scale for quite a while. That's all going to change. Not only the government is interested in this, but guess what, folks? The big tech companies, right? We hear about AI. Well, AI is extremely data intensive. Microsoft's data centers, Google's data, all the data centers of all the big Mag 7 companies, or all the big FANG companies in particular, they need nuclear power to fuel their data centers. Jeff, I see that uranium. We're going to be talking about our uranium company too. So
Yep.
very good stuff. So you can see this, right? Microsoft pours billions into data center real estate nationwide. It's going to grow by 12 million square feet in data center over the next couple of years. We have this major data center developer and operator Equinix entering several advanced nuclear energy power purchasing agreements. But which one to buy, right? So if you're trying to play the nuclear renaissance, which company to buy? Now, like I said, we were long Oklo, but it's not my favorite because there's not as much. It's not. I mean, they don't really have any money coming in. It's all just hype. So we'll start off, Jeff, with this one, Camco. So now what we're going to be looking at today is like long-term buys and holds. So we're going to be looking at the fundamentals, free cash flow, price sales ratio, forward PE guidance, all that jazz, deals that can come up, and just good. Is this an overvalued, right? Which is the best one to buy for the money, right? Where you're going to get the bang for your buck. So Camco, right? $75 as of last night when I created this deck. It might be different today. We'll look in a second. Price of sales of 12.73, which is you're paying a little bit of a premium for that. Free cash flow of 729 million. Forward PE 62. Growth about 46% this year. Net income 533 million. Now this is the world's top uranium producer. It's had great growth this year. However, there is commodities can be volatile, right?
Yep.
And Camco has been volatile in the past. So we can pull it. So what do you think about Camco? I'll pull up a chart here just to show folks.
I mean, it's down a little bit from those highs, but for the most thing, I mean, a lot of the uranium stocks are kind of pulling back just a smidge. I think what hit them was when we had that copper tariff whip out there, and that kind of hit them as well, thinking, well, if copper's got it, uranium's got it too, more than likely. But I think they're poised to move a whole lot higher, and I think CCJ is a great one to have for a fact. I mean, you can see this dipped off a little bit, but it's still up there at the highs. So
yeah, so it could be a good little sell off, good little buying opportunity. I mean,
yeah.
74, you could buy 10 shares, 100 shares, not gonna break the bank. Like buy one share, right? Get started with one share. Now I think this is a good play. I'm not a commodities guy, so maybe I'll add this one too. You're long this, I assume, Jeff?
Yes, I own shares in that. Yes.
Yeah.
And I have that in URA, and I had a Oklo. I don't know if I still got that or not. I have to go look.
Right? No, sometimes it's so much. It's like, I don't know. The best ones that you forget if they even own them, and you look and it's like, oh, nice. I got triple digits, double digit gain on that. So let's go back here. So let's look at the forward momentum for Camco. So and Jeff, maybe you can talk about this. So 77 million pounds of new long-term uranium contracts were inked February 2025. Westinghouse acquisition with Brookfield. Brookfield's another mixed nuclear renewable energy play. They are working with the Czech Republic, is buying their stuff for the nuclear growth. Now they are the world's top uranium producer. Again, 47% revenue growth Q2. EPS beat because we are having supply. Where do they get? Is this Kazakhstan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, so the analyst, whatever, who cares about these guys? But they are saying, for what it's worth, 82 bucks, 110 bucks. We're at $74.87 right now. So a little bit of upside being predicted here. Now the thing is like this is like really you're talking about picks and shovels for the data centers and for the nuclear SMR reactor companies for the AI. This is like a picks and shovel of a picks and shovel play. This is the raw material that's needed, right?
Right. They're miners.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now, Jeff, this would, I mean, if the data centers, if nuclear gets rolled out, they're just going to need more and more uranium, right?
Right. That's exactly correct. I mean, that's the biggest thing. I mean, you look at, I mean, you said 12 million square feet, and of course, my brain immediately, this is the engineer in me. I mean, I always think in acreage for some reason. I was just like, how many acres is that? Which
How many
is
acres is that?
basically about 275 acres. So now that puts it in perspective. I mean, if you look at, a section of land, which is 1 square mile, you have 640 acres in that. So this is 275 acres. So basically you have, I mean, maybe half of a whole section, which to me wasn't all that big. I thought it was going to be a whole lot more than that.
It probably would be.
Um,
Yeah, now it
so
sounds big.
yeah, it does it. I mean, we think 12 million square feet. That's a bunch.
Yeah.
But one thing that I've been surprised at, you have no CCJ here, but go look at like SMR, the guy who makes the small modular reactors. I mean, look at what they do. That thing's in the tank right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's the weird thing about it is you got the companies. I mean, the big demand right now is on uranium. And so anybody who's producing uranium or using uranium or shipping uranium or whatever that's the big thing right now. I think the ones that are the reactor people, they're still trying to figure out where to put the reactors. Nobody's made the orders for them to do it yet. So again, get it on paper, they'll do well. Anybody saying that, yeah, we're going to do this, well, that hadn't paid anybody. But you got a lot of infrastructure to get going before you can throw a nuclear reactor in there anyway. So you can't just put a nuclear reactor there and say, we'll start generating power. Well, because you got to have power lines and you got to get all that infrastructure in there. So do beware of that.
Right. We're going to talk about SMR too in a second.
Ah, good.
Yeah, we're going to be going through it and looking at that chart, which is not looking good. So BWXT is the next one. So this is more expensive. Now BWX is actually where I'm from, Lynchburg. I think they're headquartered in Lynchburg, Virginia. So 174 bucks. So more expensive. Market cap 16 billion. Forward price earnings 53. 12% year over year growth.
Didn't their
Now,
earnings come out and they jumped them up real big?
let me look. Yeah, they did jump up. They're doing good.
Yeah, they were doing really good.
They're selling off a little bit since that gap, which is to be expected, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, their earnings were, well, let's go through it. So they're heavily involved with the nuclear space. Well, obviously the nuclear space, but the naval nuclear space in particular. $2.6 billion contract for the propulsion, various, maritime vessels. I see people talking about Canadian uranium. Canadian uranium has a heavy tariff right now. Is that true, Jeff? Dave saying that?
I believe so. That is correct. I
Yeah.
know that them and the the adult beverage people are very upset right now. We can't sell our adult beverages up in Canada.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
They can't get their Kentucky bourbon.
That's right.
Yeah.
And it's hurting their sales here real bad.
Um, so look, BWXT, I honestly I like this one too, because you see the risks here as a contract dependency. Um, but I don't like for me, the contract dependency, you get a DoD contract, that thing just keeps on pumping. And
Hmm.
I think that's almost more of a benefit for BWXT.
Absolutely.
We can look at the chart over here. Let's take a chart. So you can see
Well, and the
they
thing is, as Trump talks about cutting the government, and there have been some genuine cuts. Pentagon budget still goes up, so it
yeah.
doesn't matter Democrat, Republican. You can sort of always bet on the Pentagon. Palantir was a good way to make that bet. You would have done real well with that.
Yeah, the everything else, the defense budget never goes down. So we had a pretty solid surprise on earnings per share. Revenue was a nice little surprise as well, an extra 52 milli in the bank for these guys. You know, all-time highs. Got a little bit of a pullback. Uh, so again, 173 price target for some analysts, about 220. Now, the thing which you were mentioning, Jeff, and this is some of the companies besides SMR, which will actually be sort of talking about SMR to close out. BWXT is one of those companies that already has the deals and the infrastructure developed,
Right.
you know.
Exactly. And that's why
So
they're doing well.
yeah. And so you wonder, you have to think about, okay, right, Oklo, SMR, these companies are great and well, not so great, but they are very hyped. But like BWXT has been in business since I don't know, the 70s, maybe earlier. These guys are well capitalized. They have it. So the first mover advantage as these nuclear reactors get rolled out, it's like who's going to be able to act on that fastest, right? Probably the guys
Eight,
who already know how to do it.
1867.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
BWX Technologies was founded in 1867.
That's
So they've been
crazy. That
around.
must be one of
They're
the
an old
oldest.
company.
That must be one of the oldest companies around then.
Yeah.
I don't know that would be an interesting fact. What's the oldest publicly traded company? It's probably a bank or something. Or GE maybe. I don't know.
Well,
Procter and Gamble. Now I think that Procter and Gamble's from the early 1900s. So yeah, so BWXT is another one so that's just one to consider, right? Uh, let's go back here. Vistra Corp has some insider buying. I guess it's all going around. I think some of the Dems are buying Vistra. Has an amazing run this year. Free cash flow is 1.74 billion. It's priced about 200 bucks right now. Growth of 10% year over year. Has a lot of debt, vis-a-vis some of these other companies. Now, what they do have, Vistra does have renewables. It has nuclear. It has gas exposure. When you're talking about natural gas, it does have some gas exposure on Vistra. So multiple ways to win with Vistra. You can see here they just did a $1.9 billion acquisition of some gas plants. They have some battery tech, Energy Harbor nuclear buy. So in 2024, it adds 6 gigawatts to their production capacity. Nuclear capacity boost by 2030. They raised their 2026 outlook. Vistra's let's see where it is, 198. So Morgan Stanley, I don't know, the price target of 169 might have been wrong. I don't know why they say 169. It's at 198 now. But they do have nuclear plus gas, so they're not a pure play. But I do the diversification is something that I like.
well, and I'll say this. I knew the gas side of them. I didn't necessarily know the nuclear side. So this is new to me. I like that.
You like
Um,
that?
yeah, I knew of them from the gas side, but I didn't necessarily know that they got into the nuclear side. So I'm learning here too. I like this a lot.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. Jeff likes it, folks. Let's.
Yeah.
I
I
mean, if you look at the trend, so you're looking at all these trends, all these stocks that we've been these couples. Kay is saying the oldest is Bank of New York, which was listed in 1792. That is
that is
crazy.
old.
That is super
It's
old.
older than America.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh,
So these are all in strong. I mean, they're still in uptrends. We're having a little bit of dip just with the general market today, but overall, these are all in strong uptrends, right?
oh yeah. I mean, nothing goes straight up, and
Yeah.
this thing is giving you an opportunity. It comes back to that moving average right there. Might be a good buy.
Yeah. Yeah, coming down to the moving average. This is the 50, folks. So
Ah, there you
let's
go.
look at let's see the 200.
Kay, do you know there's a famous story about like in the earliest days of America in Boston, back in the 1700s. In Boston, I believe they did the old way of doing business, which was basically personal guarantees. Like if you were in business, people could come after you for your assets. But they say the reason New York became the global financial hub is New York pioneered what's very standard to us today, the limited liability corporation. So that's why, New York and Boston were kind of neck and neck in the early days of America. But because New York pioneered the idea of the limited liability corporation, you could start a business and no one could come after you personally if it failed. They say that's why New York became the global financial hub over Boston. Interesting little historical financial tidbit. Did you know about that, Jeff?
Oh, I just knew about the hooligans that took all that tea and threw it off of a ship. That's all I know.
Right?
That's why I figured the financial center was in New York because all the hooligans were up there. So,
Yeah.
no, I did not know that, though. That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe they could have been held personally liable for that tea cargo, and that was the problem.
Yeah. Yeah. That is cool. So Vistra, don't worry, we're gonna sum all this up in a second, but I just want to go through each of these companies before we get to the summation table, so we can look at it. Constellation Energy. This is another one. I like CEG a lot. It is expensive. Um, Price is $326 per share, market cap of 102 billion. Forward PE of 34, which will look, I think I'm pretty sure that's one of the better forward or at least price to sales ratio. It's one of the lower ones. Growth of 11% year over year. Net income 3 billion. Not too much debt to equity. These are the largest nuclear operator, and they do have a lot of AI data center deals. We were talking about Microsoft. They have the deals with Microsoft. But they're big, so it's what you're going for. You're going for the steady growth. You want to go for the more aggressive, plays, right? So they
Yeah, I've
just
traded this one a lot.
you said what?
So I've traded this one a lot.
Yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
I have
swing
some
traded a lot.
nice. I have some put spreads on it right now.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, pretty good premiums, honestly. Constellation Energy
Hmm.
has really good premiums.
Yep.
Um, So they signed a 20-year power purchasing agreement with Meta for 1.1 gigawatts to fuel these AI data centers. They also have a similar deal with Microsoft, like we mentioned. Now, what's cool is they're also still acquiring things. They're acquiring gas producers, Calpine here, um, which will close later this year. They are the leading nuclear reactor company. 21 units. They've had Q2 earnings beat. Again, just riding this AI demand for energy. Going to be a huge beneficiary, right, of nuclear tax credits, clean energy focus. Now, I don't know if this could drive 355% returns over the next year, but we'll see. Dave, Lou is in the. We'll see. We can look at Lou. Not really on my radar, but we can look at it if you want. But Argus price target of 375 for CEG. Now let's go over here to the chart. That's about another 40
50
bucks
bucks.
from where we are.
Yeah, it's 50 bucks from here.
50 bucks. We're at 323
Yeah.
today. Let's go over here. Look at this chart. So now this one, man, this is another reason why I like CEG is because they out of all the companies, they're closest to this 50-day moving average, which I would say this is a good buying level here on this 50 moving average. Still above the 200, but I mean to go back to when they hit the 200, if you take out the Liberation Day stuff, I mean you have to go back quite a bit to even for them to be touching. So back to September 9th for them to touch the 200 day. But they're getting a little bit of retracement. I kind of like this. I kind of like CEG. I kind of like them a lot. I like how they're diversified. I like how they're diversified.
Yeah. They're really well diversified, and that's why I like them and trade them so much.
And they have a lot of infrastructure already built out. Like they have
Yes.
power purchasing agreements. They're signing new ones with the big tech companies. They already have, I mean, they're nationwide, right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I literally found them like a year and a half ago and just
okay.
been playing them up a storm since then.
Yeah, so you got here maybe around here and
Yeah,
stuff.
after that, this gap up you see right there,
Yeah.
that's when I noticed them.
Yeah.
And I was just like, hey, who's this? And then I was just like, I like this company.
I
And
wonder what caused it.
I started just playing with them.
Yeah. I mean, would be good swing trading. They've had some good.
Yeah.
Now Constellation. I mean, we'd have to go back and look at the charts for. Let's just look at what was the other big one. Let's look at VST.
Hmm.
A little more volatile than some of the other ones, like VST before the April Liberation Day tariffs. There was pretty much in just a solid uptrend, so it kind of continued. Now CEG was more volatile. We had even that gap up in 2024 when you noticed them. They sold off before that.
Right.
They've been sort of vacillating on price. And then look at this, another gap up, and not even on earnings, which is interesting. This is
Right.
I don't know what's caused those, but it's these are CEG I like. If you don't know, you might be guessing what company I'm long, but let's go back, or I'm going to be long in a second once I open up this trade. New scale power. Now let's go to new scale. Now this is cheap, $35. So for all of you folks who want to, $35. Price to sales 77, which is huge. Free cash flow negative. So this is a speculative play. If it works, it's going to be great. But they're pre-revenue basically at this point. Now what they do that's different. They're focused. Their ticker you can see is SMR. Anybody know what that stands for in the context of nuclear power? SMR. It stands for small modular reactors. So the idea is that those giant smokestack nuclear reactors that we're used to seeing, these are these are more like Lego building block reactors. You can put onto a city block rather,
Right.
and you don't have to have those giant smokestacks that take up a ton of real estate. So they are so modular, right? You can just click them together. That's the whole point. So this is cheap, but it's speculative. Yep, that's right, Bugs. A lot of people are saying it is the future. Now there is some deals. They do have they have some partnerships for a utility data center, Entra One. It's going to basically be their SMR is going to be deployed by the end of 2025. So they're cheap. We have a catalyst. Once that going, we'll see what their revenue starts. Maybe they're pre-revenue right now. Maybe they start turning some profit, getting some money coming in. But look, 732% year-over-year growth. That's pretty insane. Again, this is for a pre-revenue company. Super crazy. Volatility, $7 to $51 over just the past year. Price sale of 229. This is speculative though, right? People are saying it's the NVIDIA of nuclear if SMR scale. Well, we'll see. So let's just look at this. Let's look at all the numbers, right? What I'm really interested. I read this thing about I like free cash flow for like long term. I think if you have cash, look at Apple, historic levels of cash, Microsoft's historic levels of cash. So the free cash flow of all these companies. There's one outlier. It's NewScale. It's SMR. It is the cheapest one though. Look at the price to sales. So you kind of want to look price to sales, free cash flow, and see like what's kind of the middle, what's like a good middle ground there, right? So CEG 3.5 billion, price to sales 4.14. So it is, besides Vistra, it is the cheapest one for price to sales and considering the free cash flow. Market cap. So yeah, so let me know in the chat which one do you guys like the most based on what you've seen. If you've been paying attention, you think you want to go into one of these, I'll tell you which one I'm going to go long on. And love to hear Jeff's opinion as well. But let's hear from you guys. Which one, and gals, which company do you think is the best? Bugs is saying SMR is the only one out there with NRC approval on its reactor designs. Pete is saying CCJ. Okay, anybody? So Bugs, I don't know if that's an opinion. Elisa just has all of them. That's awesome. Well, you're doing pretty good there. Maybe not on new scale, but let's look at the new scale chart real quick too. Bugs still wants to look at Lou. We'll look at Lou, I promise. Actually, I meant to look at SMR. So this is the problem with the SMR chart. We are broken down and we're heading down probably further, honestly. Now, if we do hit the 200, could be a good buying opportunity, but I mean, we got quite a bit of room to fall, 15 more bucks down to the $20 or so. Lisa, Kratos is a little different. All right, folks. Well, let me tell you which one I'm going to open up here. I like CEG. I like CEG. I'm going to play CEG. I'm going to go it's close to the, because it's I like Camco as well. I want to wait till it sells off maybe a little bit more down closer to the moving average, but I'm going to go long CEG and open up a position here. SMR for the watch list. Yeah, so I would say, yeah, and SMR will be, I'll play SMR. If I see flows coming in on it, I'll play it. If it goes down to this 200, we'll maybe look to see a bounce from there. And then again, SMR does have that deal with Entra One that's supposed to go live in late 2025. So once they start turning some revenue, again, it really could. They have the small modular reactor, like Bugs was saying, I believe. They do have the only one out there with NRC approval on those small modular reactor designs. They're a pure play small modular reactor. Now, again, value. I mean, you could go turn 35, maybe, who knows, right? It could go up a lot more. It's not, Constellation could hit, I mean, longer term, it could have a 20% pop, could have more than that longer term. It's going to be slower though. Because if you look back at this chart, this table here, you'll see that both Vistra and the Vistra and Constellation, where's the growth percent here? Revenue growth year over year, 11.4, 10.5. CCJ has great revenue growth, honestly. That's I do want to see it sell maybe just a tiny bit more before I get in. But you have these big companies, a lot of infrastructure, and they're still growing 10% revenue growth on a quarterly, year over year on a quarterly basis. It's like, that's pretty good for base, utility companies. But again, 732% revenue growth for new scale, which means it's still in the negative, but that is growing fast. So that is a catalyst play. I'm going to wait maybe until September, October, see how that deal is coming, put it on the watch list, maybe go long then, but I don't think I'm going to enter SMR today. I want to take a position in CEG. So Jeff, what do you think?
I'm with you on the CEG, and VST I'm really interested in. And of course CCJ is always a good one. I like them all, but I like the play on CEG for sure. I mean, I like where it is off that moving average, which was my biggest thing. I think
CEG.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it's
that's
coming right down to that 50-day.
yeah,
I think is what that is. And I
yeah.
think that's gonna be a good spot for support. Not only that, I mean, it can't go down much lower. I mean, I don't think it's gonna take out that 310 area anyway. So
No, this was a pretty solid support zone here.
yeah.
Um, yeah, NE is another one, but again, I mean, let's look at NE. They just had earnings. We can see NE, and then I will look at Lou.
NEE is chewy choppy.
Yeah, I
I mean,
mean,
if you like to do premium, that's probably one of the best ones to use in here. I
right.
mean, I'd be selling put spreads on it or just pulling premium off of it or something. I mean, that's the thing I see on it. But
Yeah, look at this.
yeah, that's
Nothing,
bad.
nothing. There's nothing. So
Yeah.
Dave, Oklo is this Oklo. I'm pretty sure Oklo doesn't have any revenue. Maybe they have a little bit. No, they also have
Oh,
zero. So
zero.
Oklo is more. Oklo is what? So
It's
think about
hype.
this. Oklo is trading just under CCJ, but it has like no revenue.
Yeah.
Um, and it's trading at about maybe like a fourth of like BWXT, which has all of these infrastructure already in place. So Oklo it's a meme. I mean, look, we recommended in our long term whole buy and hold service. We recommended it like in 23. It was great. It was speculative back then. I would say it's even more speculative now because it's so much higher than it was. So you're really banking that they're going to turn something around. They had a little bit of they didn't have any. Yeah, there's no. This is a pre-revenue company. You know, it's just not at these prices. Not willing to do it. The kicker. I like VST. The only kicker is I want it to be lower, right? So between VST, and like CEG, like Jeff was saying, fact that this is farther, it's broken down below the nearer term moving average. It's farther away from the longer term 50. And also, if you look, there's not as much of like a support zone at the 50. Like there's not, it kind of chopped around here maybe. So, there might be a little bit of, you could argue that if it does hit down here at 180, 190 or so, there's a little bit of support. But I just think CEG is a much better chart.
I mean, yeah, if you're wanting to buy the thing, I mean, you can go 3 weeks out to the September 5th and get $4.50 for a 300 put.
For CEG.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, the premiums are sick. I don't know why. It's
Yeah.
just and the strike, like there's a few stocks that the premiums and the strikes just align so well that it's like you can get fat premiums for like at good strikes, and it's just, you know,
Yeah, that 300 put. I mean, if you want to go down further than that, you can still get decent. I mean, you can get $7.50 for the 310 if you want to get it that close.
right, which would be yeah. So you could sell a put, you get the premium, your cost basis would go down. What's the premium for that 310 put?
The 310 right now for 3 weeks out is $7.30.
So if you were to get 310, $7.30, you'd be bound at like 302 down to here in your
Yeah,
wall spaces.
exactly.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna
That's
open up the trade.
$700 just to hold it for 3 weeks.
Yeah. So man, okay, now I'm actually thinking maybe I do just buy the put instead. I'm gonna go figure it out. I'm gonna go do this in my trading terminal. So we've been talking about, did you guys like this like little breakdown? It's more of a fundamental thing, right? I mean, we're gonna cover different trading stuff, but sometimes you just want to buy and hold a stock for long
Yeah.
term. Like you don't always have to trade an option, you don't always have to day trade, you don't always have, people make a lot of money just buying and holding Microsoft or whatever. So, so let us know if you liked this, because I'm thinking we're going to do this every Friday, really, just like sort of a fundamentals Friday where we take a sector, we break it down, top companies, we open a position, and what I want to do for this is I'm going to create a little running portfolio, so you'll be able to see all of our picks in that portfolio, and well, it'll all be, you can track how we're doing on it. So So yeah, so we'll look forward to that every Friday. If you like this, we'll do it more. It seems like a lot of people do enjoy this format. So we do the trading stuff. We did whole delta. What is delta, right, for options yesterday. We do the technical stuff too. We'll do all that. We're still going to do all that, but we're going to do this fundamental Fridays. So glad you liked it, 80. I'm glad I got Jeff here because he has a lot of good insight into this. Actually, Jeff, I don't know if you guys know this, but Jeff is, maybe you guessed it. He trades energy a lot. He trades commodities. And he actually has a pretty rocking way, something he calls energy income trader.
Mm-hmm.
It's to trade these energy tickers. You want to talk a little
Absolutely.
bit more about that?
Yeah, I will show them about that. It's a cool program that I've got that really focuses really in the energy markets themselves.